So now when I think about soulmates and other things, it been just funny for me that all the things I didn't believe in the past were so not possible for me just because I was thinking they're not possible. Like for example, I started some work in a bank, and at the beginning, it was many years ago. And at the beginning, I didn't believe that I can get like a bigger or big bonus of my sales and what I'm doing there and everything, and it wasn't possible for me. And then I looked at the other guys that were actually doing it, and I was like really surprised, and I was like, oh my God, this is real. Even though in my head, in my sheet of paper, in my calculation, it was difficult. It wasn't impossible, but it was difficult to achieve, so it wasn't worth it. But the people next to me were showing that it was all real, and then I started to make good money and everything, and I learned some details about the success and working as well, and achieving things that might be not possible to the mind. And that's what happened with the soulmate subject, because years ago I was thinking about it sometimes, and I was dreaming like a little girl about finding this real person that would be exactly my reflection, but in a good way, or not reflection of me, maybe fulfillment of me. You know what soulmate is? A thing that is perfect, a thing that happens, but the perfect person that you can share love in your life, and all of that you carry in you and fulfill you. And I was asking myself if it's possible, but I had a strong feeling that something in this story is just like I haven't been really believing it. I didn't go through with, yes, I'm waiting for my soulmates. I was like dating different girls. I fell in love a few times or many times or just few times, whatever we call it. And it was all great, but between that, I think I was close to meeting that one person or something that is really real, that I can really open, like go through, like, you know, let myself go into the process. And I was always having some even trouble when I was in love. I was feeling like I'm like, oh, this is probably not it. I don't feel it, and it wasn't it. That's why I was feeling like this. And then after the years, it's been years passing, and I've been still having the same questions, but they were so deep that I haven't even been answering or questioning this. It was just there, like the questions, like you have been maybe questioning stuff in the universe from the beginning, like where we coming from? Are there really aliens? If yes, how? Where? Here? Someone? When? Do you have all those questions, and about soulmates as well, and how this universe and everything works, and many other questions that you left somewhere behind because there was no answers, or you were feeling or thinking there's no answers, and it was actually totally wrong or opposite, because there are answers. There are thousands of books and thousands of people who were actually discovered all of this with out of body experience, with enlightenment, with bringing soulmates into your life, or observing other people having those experiences. So in my life it was all there, but it was hidden. And then the question recently showed up just a few months ago, after another relationship I've been going through last 2-3 years, and it was pretty rough, even though there was love and everything. And maybe that brought up the question, like, is this soulmate? If something more perfect is possible, because I haven't felt myself being perfect in relationship, or I haven't been feeling that couple is perfect for me, even though we were both in love and it was strong, and we couldn't split, but it wasn't perfect. And then something happened, and I met a couple in the restaurant, a couple of awakened people. So they were not only a perfect match, but they were awakened. They were really extraordinary. They told me their story, that how they met, how they were programming themselves before they met. Actually, like the lady was telling me, she was putting on the list of subconscious list, that you put all the things you want in life, or in this case you want some features of character or something about the soulmates, and you put it one by one on the list. This is something that we do for programming yourself, for knowing what you want, that you can send it into the universe, or you can send it physically through your mind if somebody doesn't believe in energies and other stuff. So both ways, it's working. And she was saying like she was having on the list like 115 things, over 100 things, 100 details about the perfect couple she want to meet. And then she met a guy that was perfect for her, and then the guy was always used to say, they say that he never explored something in her that would molest him or that he wouldn't like it. So they were really, you could see after 5 minutes talking with them that it was real, that it was something else. That, and then now I'm starting to comparing, like I see other couples that go through 30, 40 years, mostly struggling, the word struggling coming to my head, even though they're really good couples, so they connect and they told me, and I've been talking with all of those couples that, you know, survive 30, 40, 20 years of marriage, and they say like it's about the respect, about understanding each other, about unconditional love and everything. And I see tremendous amount of work they did. Like they need to find respect, they need to respect each other, they need to fix this and that and that and this and then they're like 30, 40 years after marriage and they still have to work through this. But with these guys, that subject is soulmates. With these guys I've met in a restaurant, it was like, you have seen that if perfect match meet, you don't have to work on respect each other or yourself. It's like, it sounds really, when you work a lot with respect or you already respect other people, it sounds really stupid. Like you have to work with respecting other person or yourself or something. Like how would you not respect the other person? Like violate somebody who's living with you. Like I don't know, I've been living with many people in my life till now, and then maybe couple of couples, my relationship couple, a girl, and I'm not sure if I ever really, you know, had a problem with respect and other stuff. Yeah, there are stuff that has to be worked out, but I saw in the perfect couple and soulmate that it's all worked out. That they're working with something totally else. They're working with their aspects of spiritual development, with bringing things higher, not with the simple stuff like we have a problem with socks and respects and who's putting out the trash and stuff like this, like the couples are handling. That was my idea of me talking with them. That's what I noticed in them between the lines. They didn't tell me all of this stuff. They were just saying how perfect it is. They were saying about other things like that they had to be been working with it as well somehow. But you could feel from them that they were working on totally different level. Like they don't argue or something. I don't know. Like it was just great. I'm trying to use words and I'm missing the words again. Like the most beautiful thing, sometimes it's difficult to describe. Like you see more unconditional love in this couple, you just see it works. Like few years ago, I still remember, I had no idea about soulmates, or I haven't worked through my relationship back then. It was like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, before I left to Mexico to live for a few years again in Mexico. And I met a couple like this. It was young people before their 30s, and they were like, I think they were already married there. And the guy was like, we were like 28, 29, all of us back then. And I saw them, and there was a party, and they were just standing in the doors of some room in the party, and they were just like nice with each other, like almost kissing, like being really close, being like in love, being subtle, being understand each other, something you cannot pass the words again with. And I asked them like, how long you guys been together? Because I've been thinking like, oh, they met like 2 or 3 months ago, and it's like their honeymoon or something, or they've been married like after 6 months of relationship, and now it's their honeymoon, literally. And they've been like saying then that they were like 3-4 years together, and I was like, this is the first time actually I see the couple working after a few years so well, and young people, like not like 20, 30 years after, you know, marriage, that we've been 20 years together and finally after 25 years we work through who's putting the trash out and who's taking care of the laundry, and we worked out the respect. That's not the thing I'm looking for. I think if I will be with a couple or with a girl that I have to work all these things out, what respect is, for example, in 5, 10 years, it means I'm really doing bad work, or I really connected to the wrong person. If you have to explain simple things, I notice in the soulmates, first of all, that it is possible. I learned through those examples, and then I'm coming back right now in my mind to the moments I met soulmates like this in Poland, in other times, in other places in the world, but I didn't believe that that it actually exists. So I just seeing them, I saw how beautiful it is, especially when I was already awakened. I was seeing how beautiful they are, but I haven't go through the questioning process. Like, how did you guys met? How do you guys work out? Why is this so beautiful? And my relationship sucks all the time, you know, even though I am or I was in love. And I haven't been asking those questions. And this time in restaurant, it was the full time. Actually, those people asked me like, "Hey, who are you? Come here. We got something to tell," or something like this. It was accident, no accident. And then I joined them into the table, and we just talked for an hour or two, and they were upgrading me aggressively with all of this awakening they already had in their life. So they were extremely conscious and how it's working with a couple, and how really the perfect match. Like they've been saying like, this guy is fulfilling me. I almost didn't go out with him, and it would be the greatest loss in my life. That's what the lady was saying. Like, and when we've met and when we talked again after they met, she said like, then I noticed that he has been everything that I've been looking for in my life. All the 115 things she put on the list, all the many things I am putting on the list right now. This is what you can do actually for yourself. So this is this video kind of, I'm doing more, I don't know, inspirational or something videos. They're like with a general knowledge. I'm not saying like, oh, you have to put the list now and program your subconscious. Maybe I do it in some other videos. Like, you put the actually list, and you put the things, what you like in your life and what you like in your future partner, thinking like it's already here. This is the technical stuff, how you program yourself. This is probably the famous NLP and NLP, like neuro-linguistic programming and everything, and other techniques that have a complicated names, but the solutions and practices are really simple. How to work with an imagination, thought, and emotion. How to connect all of these three, sometimes on the paper, that it comes more real, and you think about it not just once a year, why my relationship don't work, or why I don't know, not healthy or wealthy enough, but you can have it in your pocket or work it out in your mind every day thinking about it. So now I'm trying to remind myself things about soulmates and how people can be great with each other. So at the end, I want to say like a few more sentences that that what have been little said in my life and other people's lives that I'm looking right now around me, that we don't know how the work relationship life can be great and how it can be about. Like, when we are born, our parents doesn't take us through different families and different factories and different works and different people and different marriages, and to show you like, listen, those people don't work with each other and it's not really well, but the other neighbors are so wonderful. They just live with love, romantic love and unconditional love, and they've been so great with each other, and it's been like they have 20-year-old children right now, and they still love each other and they hold hands. And the parents doesn't, well, my parents didn't do it, and probably your parents, I don't know, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. They didn't show us all of the possibilities, like how work can be great, how inspired you can be by drawing, singing, dancing, creating, constructing if you're architect, or whatever gift you have in your soul as a child or adult later on. And they don't show us this inspiration. They don't show us how great we can be. They don't show us how emotional you can be with what you desire and what you expect and what you achieve. Even when you're a teenager, you don't have to be 50 to be successful in the company. There's many teenagers and 20 years old right now that been making multi-million dollars company with what they love. They create the business for the artist or getting money that they are doing some non-profit organization, and I hear about people like this that they are 24, 25 and making projects in 3 countries with the things they love, with the thing they desire, with the thing that makes good for all the world and poor children somewhere in Brazil, Africa, somewhere else in Latin America. That's what I've been meeting people here, for example, telling me story like this. So imagine, and then some of us, or like me before, if you have a picture of yourself or somebody else going to work and just going through the process and just to make salary and survive another day, and the same you are doing with a couple, it's just sad. It's just sad that nobody shows us the difference, or we are not ready to show ourselves the difference, that life can be different, that you can live inspired, you can live in paradise, you can live with a romantically in love with you person, and you the same, and you guys can be unconditionally love each other and grow, and the gurus, the master says that the women can burn in the men's spiritual desire and enlightenment. That's how they grow together. But it can be in the opposite way as well. If the woman is really developed already, or they work at the same level. So the subject is longer, the subject is big, so I hope you can grasp something I want to add. I want to pass between the lines of the words. I'm saying that then sometimes we've been just aiming and looking for average success, just to get rich, average couple, just to make a beautiful couple and have children and live good, and then struggle 30 years to reach the respect, and who's taking out the garbage, and how we gonna raise the children, and they struggle, they work through, and it's great, it's a lot of teaching, it's a lot of learning, it's a lot of understanding. Now I see it, but I also notice there is the other way. There's a way you can program yourself, you can believe it, to meet a perfect couple, perfect match, or spend your life looking for it, actually, like me. That's why I'm not settling down. I'm not thinking about marrying some beautiful and nice girl just because she's beautiful and nice, and we can have children because it's time. I'm not thinking about that. I'm always striving. I'm trying to achieve some perfection, and that's the human condition. But that's also unlimited thinking, that you're not closing yourself to some box. So this is okay. So I can settle down and buy an apartment and better car, and now we have children. And then we struggle for another 30 years with simple things that we're trying to work through the relationship, and sometimes it just doesn't work, even after 20, 40 years. Like my grandparents, that's what I learned from my grandparents, unfortunately, but there are different examples that you can go through life and look them on the street and learn, get inspiration, use it, aspire to another level, not just what our parents had, or people behind the block, or people you just meet every day. You can make better, you can be better, you can have all of this. Thank you very much for listening, and take care.